Our next speaker is Mason Wong, and Mason and Carmen were two of the plaintiffs in the lawsuit to void the arrests, so that the almost 700 people who were arrested were able to go on and be judges and psychologists and all of the other things that we wanted to do, because back when we went to state, there was something called like an oath of allegiance that had to be signed. Yes, and if you did something wrong, then you could be kicked out, and that's what happened to a lot of folks here. So, Mason, would you like to tell us about the Intercollegiate Chinese organization?
Okay, thank you. Before I begin, I just want to let you know that one time I appeared before Ron.
Do I put you in jail?
No, you excused me from jury duty. I finished San Francisco City College, got my AA degree, and I came to San Francisco State. I got involved with ICSA because at that time I lived in Chinatown, and there was awareness of the growing youth problem that we had. And my dad, he had a restaurant in Chinatown, so they would be open till 4 in the morning, and get involved with all the activity. So I started going to ICSA meetings. So when they said Intercollegiate Chinese for Social Action, I thought it was a much more progressive group. And I just found out from George Wu that it has been around for many years, and that it's actually a social group to go to have parties. And so they can have dances and meet girls and things like that. The major issue that was confronting the ICSA was whether or not ICSA as an organization would support La Raza position on Juan Martinez to be given a position here at San Francisco State. And so I've been watching the meetings, and Laureen was there, and there was a faction of the members of the group who were actually Chinese Americans. The social people are more like Chinese immigrants or coming here on student visas. So their involvement was very limited to what they could do. So I ran into Al. Al and I've known him ever since I was in junior high school. We're old drinking buddies. So I said, hey Al, I want you to come to this meeting, because Al was very much involved with SNCC. So when he came to the meeting and he started seeing what's happening, we got together with a bunch of the other students who were in favor of La Raza, and then they said, okay, it's time for elections. So I'm just sitting there, and next minute Al's pointing at me and says, you're president. So I became the reluctant president of ICSA. Once I became president, we stated our position with La Raza, and then we met with Benny Stewart. Benny came on his own, came with a group of people, and we were meeting in a classroom. And that's what our first connection, I think, was at that time. And I think it was very important, because here's a situation where you had Chinese American students getting involved with the black community. And my involvement with the blacks was very limited, except when I was in the service. I had some black sergeants who took me under their wing and helped guide me through my service time in the Marines. And at that time, before I was getting out, there were some Marines getting involved in the civil rights movement, and the higher-ups in the Marine Corps were getting nervous about the situation. So when I got out, I come to San Francisco State, and we got involved. Got involved in the strike, and it just took a life of its own. I mean, it was tough, because one thing I hate is going to meetings When you get third world people to talk, it just never ends. But it was a good learning experience for me. I learned to adapt. And to this day, many of these people have become very dear friends of mine. So that's my story.
All right.
Now, Mason, you